Right on.
Ever climbed a mountain, never caught a fish, ever looked to the stars and made a wish, ever shot a bow and arrow in the dead of night, ever read a map, ever flew a kite, ever made a fire, ever sang a song, ever tried to run a marathon, ever put yourself to the test. Do your best. Do your best. I can't.
I think I messed up a note there.
I just was all over the place.
You're just like fixing your tie. You don't know.
I was trying to fix my throat actually, but that was funny as well because we just kept increasing and decreasing in speed at different moments.
I was like, is this the slow or the fast one?
Yeah, I was like, are we skipping lyrics? Is there an extra bit?
It was there.
I don't know.
No, I don't.
At least we didn't.
I definitely got a bum note.
At least we didn't do the sad one to open though.
Yeah,
we got that bit right.
Yeah, we were start on a high, end on a low.
Exactly. Yeah.
Always. How you doing? All right.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm excited. So this is episode
Quattro. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Quattro.
Wilkinson sword.
That sounds like an alien in like Total Recall. Quattro. Quick, start the reactor. But yeah, so it's been a little while. Was it last month?
I think this month. I think earlier this month. Yeah.
Earlier this month.
Yeah. So we're on. What are we on? We're in November.
We're in November. So the last episode. I always think the last one was the Halloween one, but actually, did we do one after that?
Yeah, we did one after that. Yeah, we did.
Oh yeah, we did.
Episode 4.
The Mandela.
Yes, the Mandela effect. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, we're still sort of on track for doing a couple of months.
That sounds. This tastes strange.
You're back in with your Monster Halulu.
I think I forget how bad that taste is. Actually,
it's like a bit of a tradition.
It is a bit of a tradition. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get used to it again.
Yeah, well, you don't drink them often then.
No, I don't.
Oh.
It seems to only be during the podcast that I drink
right,
it. Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's a
performance. Kind of good to know.
It's a performance-enhancing drug.
Oh yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah,
you know?
Caffeine, taurine.
Exactly. I want to feel jacked up when I'm talking, when I'm chatting.
Yeah, fair enough.
Who doesn't? Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything that's happened. You got caught in a blizzard.
Yeah, man. Yeah, today. Yeah, unbelievable. It really was a blizzard. It was absolutely mad. A guy I was talking to said that he knows a friend that lives out in Gwenver, and she's lived there her whole life, I think. And yesterday, she looked out towards the Isles of Scilly and said, it's really clear. You can see the Isles of Scilly off the coast of sort of Land's End area. And you can see it every now and again when it's quite clear. But she said, I haven't seen it this clear for a long time. In fact, the last time I saw it this clear, there was a blizzard the next day. What? And this guy told me that in the car on the way over that way. We were driving over there for work this morning. And he told me that in the car, and I thought, that's insane. I mean, yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a blizzard out, in sort of St. Just sort of area. And lo and behold, when we get, there was no, it was sleeting and raining, and we come over the hill of Crowsmore, and as we come, it was insane.
Could you even see through the car? It
really was mad.
Wow.
It really was mad.
Wow.
It was cold.
Yeah.
Of course.
Holy shit.
It's probably not like a Siberian blizzard. Probably not as bad as that, but...
You're going to need to start wearing balaclavas, like full-on balaclava.
He had one.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, he had two. He offered me one, but I had my back to it while we were working. I was like, nah, it's cool. You save it. And I was like, maybe double up if it's cold. And I was like, where'd you get these balaclavas from? And he got them from a go-karting session he'd done with his friends. Free balaclavas.
Who is wearing it while on a go-kart, though?
Everyone.
Oh, because you get shit in your face.
You put the balaclava on and then the helmet over that.
Oh, wow.
I'd love to go on one of those go-kart sessions, man. He said it was indoor, 3-tier, like you're driving up and around. And
it's sort of like being on one of the... What do you call it at the fairground when you're in one of those?
Dodgems.
Dodgems. It's like being on a dodgem.
I mean, sort of.
But you can go anywhere you want.
And you hopefully don't crash into each other.
Exactly.
I think they go way faster.
Is that not part of the fun? You're not smashing into each other?
The go-karts, I don't think so.
No.
I think you're trying to I think you're going
trying
pretty
to win.
fast.
You're trying to
I think
win.
you're trying to win the race.
Wow, I've definitely seen them.
It'd be like Formula 10 or something, or like further, it'd be like Formula 42 or something.
Yeah, right.
Which
right.
sounds a bit like a kind of.
Wait, is it called Formula One because of the speed?
I would say they're the first. I think they're the fastest.
Oh right, I assumed.
But
it
then
was
you've got like Formula 2 and Formula 3.
I thought it was like a formula that they come up with.
It might be. It might be the petrol they use. It
Yeah,
might be
oh, right,
this.
yeah.
We use only Formula 1.
That would make sense
Yeah,
to me. Yeah,
I think I think go-kart might be like down the list, Formula 10, Formula 20, something like that. Which sounds like shampoo.
Sure, yeah. Well, they keep trying to sell like middle-aged men like caffeine shampoo.
Yeah.
And it makes like a little noise as they're selling it, like.
Yeah, because men like cars.
They so they're thinking weirdly if you can like engineer your own body like a car.
Yeah, like as good as German engineering.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I get that. I know exactly that shampoo you're talking about.
must
That
be-
stuff, and that annoys me so much.
Yeah, I know. There's something
Because if
yeah,
I was
very
going
sinister.
bald and didn't like cars and sort of like hated that aspect of like popular masculinity,
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh no, I'm not buying it.
I'm also not sure about the fact that they're comparing me to a vehicle that's like, I mean, in a way, our bodies are like vehicles, I admit that. But there's something grotesque about the idea that it's like this bit of metal that you can smash up and pump fuel into. It's very...
Might be the hair growing as fast as a Formula 1 car drives.
Yeah. What is happening? I mean...
Caffeine shampoo. I want to see myself just like one day just...
Speaking of
instant
boomers...
coffee.
Speaking of...
Just instant coffee drunk on a Friday, looking at myself. Oh, fuck it, just drunk. Just instant coffee all over my face. Just sat with my pants off in the kitchen.
I'm pretty sure that is a, girls are putting mad stuff like that on their face, aren't they?
Caffeine.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure they're coffee grains, right?
Cucumbers.
Yeah, I remember being told just to put like cigarette ash on my face at one point.
Yeah,
someone was
a bad
advising. Yeah, someone was advising to do that for skincare or whatever. But what was I going to say about caffeine? And I have no clue what I was going to say. Oh yeah, I was going to say that I reckon that this generation, the boomer generation, our generation perhaps.
Oh,
if
boomers?
we are boomers.
Yeah, we need to figure that out. We need to Google that.
We're the last generation that will ever worry about hair. I think that's my theory.
Why though? Why?
Well, because I just don't think people give a fuck anymore.
Don't you think it's like
even Doja Cat doesn't have any hair. She doesn't care.
That's by choice.
But she just wears a million cool wigs whenever she fancies it.
It's by choice.
Yeah.
It's by choice. It's different.
Yeah, maybe. But what I mean to say
Doja Cat, it rocks as well.
Yeah, but also like...
I am a boomer. You can't say Doja Cat rocks.
No, but also, do you remember the whole thing with Will Smith? He's like, get my wife's name out of your fucking mouth or whatever.
She's got alopecia.
Alopecia.
Yeah, that's not chosen. That's why he was annoyed.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that, but she's of a boomer generation, you see. That's not by choice.
Yeah.
Doja Cat, not of the boomer generation.
Doesn't
by
care.
choice. Doesn't care.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
Profound.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think it's just like if Doja Cat went bald, she wouldn't care.
She wouldn't care.
But we're talking about Doja Cat.
We are talking about Doja Cat, but what I mean to say is that these pioneers of the fashion...
She said what she said.
What I'm trying to say is these fashionable people, these pop stars, whatever, they make the sort of defining choices for generations of people who dress in imitation of them. I'm not saying everyone's trying to look exactly
you shouldn't give a fuck either. You shouldn't care whether you're bald or not.
And men don't care because they just end up looking like, well, they do care in the sense, you've done it a few times, I've done it a couple of times.
Yeah.
There is a skinhead element.
Yeah, there's a skinhead. That's not a nice feeling, is it? Where you feel like shaving it all off because you can't be bothered with it, and then immediately you're like, oh.
Yeah, old ladies start looking at you funny.
People start...
Not because they find you handsome, but because they're scared.
Yeah, people are like, oh, you look like a skinhead.
They're actually worried. And all of a sudden, I think we spend a long time and, our whole lives really trying to do the right thing a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden people just assume that you're doing the wrong thing because you don't have hair.
Yeah, but it's like when Britney took her hair off,
yeah,
the world was worried, weren't they?
That's true.
So it's
that
also
was considered...
Yeah.
That was mental illness.
There is an element of someone with nice hair or the ability to grow hair.
Yeah.
Chooses to take all of it off. Mm-hmm. What's up with them?
Yeah, exactly.
So there is a part of that, but that's also part of the sort of liberation of skin in your head when you can grow hair. Mm-hmm. When you've got all the hair and you decide to skin it all off, you're like, I'm doing something with
For
my
sure,
day.
for sure. Do you think? I think there's two thoughts that come to my mind. First of all, that this could all be subtly, unconsciously linked to Buddhism, in the sense that we know, or rather, even to Hare Krishna, we know that when people shave their heads, they're making a drastic life decision where they might join a monastery,
Yeah,
and that scares us
yeah, definitely.
because they're exiting outside of
Yeah.
the capitalism, out of everyday life, maybe even talking to you.
Yeah, yeah.
They're going to go off and take a vow of silence
Yeah,
and walk into the desert.
Yeah, maybe taking away the possibility of a superficial admiration.
Yeah.
You're going, oh, is this lovely hair? Well, now it's gone.
They're sort of destroying their identity of how you visually know them.
You're taking away however many years it took to grow.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
you may have had this hair growing and like having haircuts, never really skinned it. You've had this hair for however many years. It holds all of those spliffs you smoked, and or whatever they say that,
Yeah,
don't they?
they do. Yeah,
it stays in your hair.
The Japanese do, but they're trying to arrest you at the airport as well, for sure.
What from your hair?
Yeah, they take little samples of your hair. And then they try to send you to the Japanese gulag.
So then, if other people that have shaved their head might just be going to Japan.
Exactly. Yeah, that's so true.
Might just be going on holiday.
But either way, whether it's Buddhist monastery, well, also the other thing is that people worry that you might be ill, and that you've had to shave your head because you're sick.
That's the
So there's all of these things going on.
Are they dangerous? Are they on the fringes of society? Are they ill?
Are they dying? Yeah, there's a lot of hybrid concepts going on.
Yeah,
there.
no one sees someone that had hair and then sees them the next day with like no hair at all and thinks,
no problem.
nice.
No, exactly.
Although they might say, really suits you.
Yeah, yeah.
They've had to find that, and they're just a nice person.
Eyebrows are also like that. If you shave your eyebrows off, people get weird.
Yeah.
People don't like that.
Yeah.
Do you see Louis Theroux's losing his eyebrows?
I didn't
So
know
the
that.
alopecia is shaking out his
Good
eyebrows.
band name, that.
Yeah, Louis Theroux's losing his eyebrows.
But
What is that? LTLH? Yeah, E. I don't it doesn't have a ring to it.
it's not as good. It's not as good.
Yeah, but no, but he's thinking about getting tattooed on. He's thinking about actually getting tattooed eyebrows.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
I
that he
think
looks
when
on-
people don't have eyebrows and they've taken them off, it's interesting because you actually don't notice it for a while. You can spend a long few minutes sort of studying someone's face and wondering, what is it that's making me sort of want to inspect this face for a little bit longer?
You're like, oh, it's missing some
What is-
crucial feature.
Yeah, and it's not like no eyebrows. You're like, what's going on here? There's something, it takes a little while. And
I
you
assume
go,
it's it's
no
because
eyebrows.
I was reading about clowns the other day. why people are afraid of clowns. What do I can't even remember what the term is, clownophobia or whatever. Can't remember what it is. That's a good pub quiz question, that. But the idea is that apparently when we're children, we develop this idea of pattern recognition where we can see someone's nose, we see their eyes, we see their mouth. And a clown completely goes against all that because you've got a mouth over the top of a mouth.
Oh yeah, big
eyes where they should be.
red nose.
Yeah, so-
changing the structure.
So children who are actually truly terrified of clowns, I think we're all a bit creeped out by clowns
Yeah.
on some level, but children who are really afraid of them, it's because at an early age they see them and it messes with all their pattern recognition.
I can understand that.
And I assume that maybe that could be a similar thing with eyebrows. We assume that human beings will have it.
Yeah.
So when it's not there, and maybe like hair, we're
Yeah.
also worried.
Sinead O'Connor,
Yes. Was that
classic shaved head.
and she did it and she pulled it off. People
Yeah.
loved it. It actually
Yeah.
became a trademark.
Yeah, classic.
But did anyone think it was kind of mental illness?
Probably. I mean, I don't remember. I don't think I was around when. I was probably really young when that's like the song, because there's a song where, nothing compares to you. I think that the video is just her, black and white. It's just her face singing a song.
Yeah.
Which I think she gets emotional in the song. Great video.
Yeah. That also.
Gail Porter.
I feel like that was kind of, in some weird way, kind of a part of that 90s scene where it was kind of a bit Riot Girl kind of vibes going on, where it was like women were kind of taking back empowerment. There was
Sinead O'Connor was a Riot Girl in a way.
Yeah, right.
That's her stuff. She was cool.
So I feel like that, so that was actually being able to shave your head
So
and say,
Gail Porter.
there you go. But being able to say, I'm in charge of my body, I'm in charge of my hairdo.
Yeah.
You know, men want me to have long hair and wear a dress. I'm not doing fucking any of those
I can
things.
understand that.
Exactly,
I
yeah.
can understand that.
Strangely, as men, nobody really expects anything of us, so we can just do what the fuck we want with our hair.
Yeah, if you have like long hair, you're just like a Lothario dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was talking the other day about the long-haired boys society. Remember David Bowie?
David Bowie, yeah.
When he was in high school, he was high school. What am I calling it? High school, secondary school.
Too much YouTube.
He was too much YouTube. Yeah, but he was the chairman of the Long Haired Boys Society, and there's like a little interview with him.
Yeah, I
like,
remember that.
It's like all the boys going around like pinching our asses, and we don't like it. We won't stand for it. It's
keep
terrible.
calling us girls and that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Keep
Brilliant.
saying stuff like "cut your hair."
Yeah. Although to be fair, you know, I actually no, I don't. People don't yell out of cars at me anymore. That used to happen a lot.
Yeah.
Used to get people just saying "cut your hair."
Certain age.
Maybe.
Certain age. I mean, I had long hair. I had long hair for a while. Happened to me a lot as a teenager. Fucking cut your hair, mate.
But do you think maybe
I
times
always used to think,
why?
What
Yeah.
does it? What the fuck?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Exactly. Yeah.
How does this offend you?
Yeah.
I'm growing it longer to
Yeah.
offend you more.
Exactly. Yeah.
I must offend this man I don't care about.
Who's the character with is he in the Bible and he's got like really long hair?
Samson.
Samson, exactly. And I always thought that
Yeah.
was like they're trying to take my power away, man.
Yeah.
They're trying to like, you know.
Well, I guess they might have been.
Well, I think really what they're doing is, you know, they're saying what their grandfather and their great grandfather would have said. Because I think a lot of the time, the reason why we're cutting our nails and cutting our hair is we're trying to look presentable. We don't want to look grotesque and wild to people.
Yeah.
Not just because it frightens them, but because it makes it look like we don't care about society.
I think what they're saying is, why do you get to grow your hair? I can't grow mine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we all have to do this.
Listen,
thing.
we're all
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
we're all looking smart and having our hair cut like we're supposed to. Why are you so different? Why do you get to grow yours so long?
Exactly. And maybe nowadays you could go into a job interview with a samurai bun and it would be no problem.
Absolutely.
Back in the
In
day,
fact, it would be the opposite of a problem.
people were like, this guy's a legend.
Yeah.
But if you went into a job interview in like the 1950s and you had long hair, they would either think you were a homosexual and probably not hire you, or they would think you were some kind of radical beatnik and also not hire you.
Yeah, depending on the shop. But in 1950s, not even depending on the shop.
Yeah, exactly.
1990s, depending on the shop.
Yeah, exactly.
Record store, job's yours.
That's kind of like the same with tattoos as well, isn't it? If you have tattoos that are on show, there are certain jobs that you can't get, or used to be certain jobs that you couldn't get.
Used to be.
But maybe not anymore.
No, I don't think so. Not anymore. Again, it depends on the interviewer.
Unless you had tattoos on your face.
It depends what the tattoos are, and it depends on the person, the interviewer. Like, if you've got, like, you know, you might have, like, a hip boomer, and he'll be like, hey, we love tattoos on faces.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
And he'll hire you just because of that. And you might actually just be a hardened criminal. A Russian criminal.
Yeah.
You know? But say you're not a Russian criminal, but they might go like, well, we want fucking new blood and cool dudes with tats on their face and
Well, also
whatever.
you want the young people to
And
trust
if you've
your
got
business.
like a young person, wouldn't even see it.
No, exactly. Yeah.
You know.
So true.
like an older person might be like, oh wait, yeah, so the tattoos on your face, what do they represent? It'd be like, well, I just like Pikachu. They'd be like, fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to tell in those situations, but generally, I think nowadays, things are sort of probably the best they've ever been.
Yeah, in terms of what sort of what anyone can get any kind of job.
Societal pressure.
Yeah.
Of
exactly.
like long hair, no hair, being a baldy or like whatever you want to be or whatever. People are generally pretty cool about whatever you want to be nowadays. So generally, things seem to have got the best they've ever been.
Yeah.
But then, like, you know, at the same time, and like on a world stage, probably as bad as they've ever been.
Yeah, exactly.
It's quite a
maybe
strange
we
thing.
really are in like the that like sweet spot at the moment where things are just kind of all right, but probably teetering on the brink of oblivion.
Well, aren't we? It depends. I don't know. It depends what we read or whatever. But I guess we're teetering on the edge of destruction globally.
Yeah. I can imagine things definitely getting sort of more sort of scarily right wing all of a sudden. Things shifting.
Well, all of a sudden it's like, cut that fucking hair, boy.
Yeah, exactly. I can imagine that suddenly like things changing in that way.
Yeah, that, I mean, that's a sadness. I'm not sure that. I guess. I mean,
Is that already
anything
happening?
can happen.
Yeah,
Anything can
yeah,
happen.
exactly. Aren't they like getting rid of like gay marriage in some states in America or something? I can't
think they
remember.
are.
I think certain things are going back.
I think they are. Well, the while back
Abortion. Oh yeah, yeah,
It's
exactly.
like,
That's
no
the
more.
one.
We're not having that anymore. Which is completely fucking
It's
insane.
crazy to go back, isn't it?
It's completely insane.
You know, I know as you know, I know fuck all about politics, but it does seem,
Yeah, but we all understand.
yeah, it does seem strange to make so much progress and then go back.
Yeah.
You know, that's just bizarre.
Yeah.
Absolutely bizarre.
Yeah, some things that should happen to, like turkey Twizzlers.
Yeah, bring them back.
Bring them back.
Absolutely.
Like they
yeah.
made new versions of them.
And they taste like shit.
They're crap.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
bring back the old ways of turkey. Sunny Delight.
Yeah, Sunny Delight. Bring back the original flavour.
OG, the
It
one
is
that
actually
turns us.
it is actually coming back.
Yeah, you said it's coming back, but it's not going to turn us orange.
It's not. No, they probably removed all of the dye that would make things interesting, make life fun.
Yeah, the
Exactly.
stuff that really gets you when you're drinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Same with the Smarties. They got rid of the blue ones.
Yeah.
They probably brought them back, and now nothing.
Maybe we don't want those blue Smarties back. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
They'd send kids crazy, but I bet the kids, if they had a choice, would be like the blue or the best.
Yeah, exactly. That was.
There's a few things that you should bring back, but like of the old ways, but not the puritanical sort of like it's godly stuff, isn't it?
Yes.
In America, it's godly.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The abortion.
The Bible
stuff,
Belt.
It's like one part of. Is abortion even in the Bible?
Oh, of course not. No. I mean, I think that
Wasn't even invented.
It wasn't even a concept. No. Although I imagine probably maybe you can really stretch almost any line in the Bible to suit any argument you want. Though, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Especially in the New Testament, I feel, but there probably is stuff about hurting children, which you could use.
Oh right.
You
I
could
see.
say, "Thou shalt not." I mean, it literally says, "Thou shalt not kill."
Yeah.
I mean, you could just say that one.
You could say
but
that
also
one,
at the same time in the Old Testament, it also says you can just stone someone or stone your sister if you can't exchange her for a dowry or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So, whatever really. But I'm sure, I do ponder though, I reckon if you took religion out of the situation, with right-wing America, they would still be they just find different reasons for...
Yeah, I guess so.
I think religion is just a nice excuse for some people to say that, to feel like they've got someone on their team all the time.
Yeah.
They're like, God is cool with this, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've always felt a bit jealous of that. Like, honestly, like, it would be great that if all of the mistakes I made, or even all of the good times I was having, or like everything that was happening around me in life in such a chaotic and seemingly sort of like, not meaningless, but like, sort of like, it feels like there's no reason for anything that happens. It's like, well, that happened because it's happening. Like things just willy-nilly are just like happening. And I'd love it if, like, as soon as something happened, I'd be like, God's got away, don't worry.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah.
Pure confidence, just pure confidence.
Although there must also be something unpleasant about when things aren't going your way, to keep thinking that there's a deliberate decision behind this.
To have
you see what I mean?
What have I done? How do I...
What I imagine is the more moderate...
I'm taking some lambs up the fucking calm.
Yeah. I think the more moderate spiritual religious person, basically, strangely, they see the good things that happen as a result of the divine, and they see the bad things that happen as just a matter of life. They don't blame the God for the bad things. They only put the good on him. But of course, that is biased in the strangest possible way. Either that, or you think, you know what, this is a test, this is a trial.
Yeah.
I'm being tested, and I will get through this, and I'll be better on the other side. Which is, maybe that's a nice way of giving you, you're walking through the desert, you don't know how many days left you've got to survive, let alone if you'll get to the other side. But to persevere, there's a plan for me, in the heavens. I will make it. That obviously is going to give you
that's
drive.
helpful.
Exactly. Whereas if you think, I might not make it, I don't actually have much water left, then where
I
is
think
really
I'll have
that?
a little sleepy.
Yeah, exactly. That's not beneficial.
That's not beneficial.
You can see in ways like that how beneficial, having even an absurd idea of, divine presence.
I think maybe like atheists are the opposite to that then, whereas like all of the good things happen, they're just like, life is great, and then all the bad things, they're like, fuck you, God.
Yeah, exactly.
So
and weirdly, the bad things that happen reaffirm their disbelief as well.
Yeah,
They go, well, clearly not. It's the classic Stephen Fry my argument, where it's like, why would a god, create a wasp that burrows behind children's eyes and lays eggs?
Yeah.
Why would he do that? I always
And if there is a god that did that, I don't want to believe in
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to be any part of his
exactly.
horror show.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also one that you tend to find that religious people don't really like to talk about very much. You know, if you ask like a Jehovah's Witness, like, why are there like disabilities? Why are people born crippled, or why are they born in this sort of way? You know, they hate that question.
Yeah.
And basically, the only real answer that I tend to get from people is some kind of like original sin. People are being punished from birth for something that we did in the Garden of Eden or something like that.
Yeah, that's
far
that's
out.
some horrific stuff.
That's far out.
Yeah.
And I think it's actually easier for me to believe, if there was a divine being, that it's one that is neither like good nor bad. There's no kind of deliberately kind or deliberately evil. There's just this kind of this omniscient.
I guess they wouldn't
omnipresent.
understand what good or evil was.
Yeah, exactly. It's more like a being that sort of exists fluidly through things. Like you look
Or
at,
it used to be sort of pretty evil in the Old Testament, and then it got a bit like more chilled out.
Yeah.
Like it was like a crazy punk teenager that just used to like beat rabbits to death.
exactly.
And then it sort of grew up and became a little bit more like, actually, children, I do as I say, not as I do.
Well, that's basically canon. That's actually officially what, the average Christian believes. They believe that you've got an Old Testament God who's tyrannical and almost makes people murder their own kids on a hilltop and floods the entire earth, kills everyone, including children.
Yeah.
Everyone but Noah and his family.
Yeah.
But kills all the animals aside from those animals. And then all of a sudden, by the New Testament, he's literally chilled out. He literally has a different plan, and his plan comes in the form of this new being of his only son who's sent to earth to sacrifice himself.
Right.
And now,
JC.
Exactly, JC. And now it gets rid of all this original sin, you see. The idea of him is that now that he's died on the cross, it's taken away all the bad things we've ever done. So now we can live in this pure way
we can start again.
where God isn't just trying to constantly flood the earth all the time and smush us.
He must have left around that point as well.
Exactly.
He's been at sort of like a cosmic dinner party since then. Yeah. It's getting to about 9 o'clock. He's thinking, I should go and check on them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that is kind of the official consensus. But there were other, religious. How old for time? We were right? Yeah, we were okay.
Yeah.
There were other religious people, back in the day, in the days of ancient Rome, who actually believed that the Old Testament God was like an evil God.
Yeah.
And that the New Testament God was like the nice guy. He was like the righteous, correct God. And Jesus was there to kind of fight for that one. But the evil one was the demiurge, the one who like built the earth, who's like this grim creature.
He's like, it's my place.
Yeah, and all this kind of stuff. But they were all like chucked out. People didn't like them. The Christians hated them.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they didn't like their opinions.
Pretty cool. I quite like all that stuff.
I know, it's just a lot more interesting, isn't
Yeah.
it? And nowadays, I was thinking the other day about why the most predominant religion, aside from Islam, Christianity, is so corny. Why it's so like sweet and like swaying of the hands and big smiles. And where is this coming from? Because I don't reckon that it was like that throughout all time. And I think all you've got to do is walk into like a spooky candlelit church with murals on the wall and like organ music. Like, this stuff isn't like, it's not all like fun and games.
Yeah.
This is blood and fire and mystery and the cosmos.
Yeah.
But it's been totally commercial. Like, it's been Disneyfied.
Yeah.
It's been turned into like this.
Buddy Christ.
It's like Buddy Christ, yeah. And I wonder, I don't know, is it just America? Have the Americans done this? Or is this just something that we've had to do as time's moved on to domesticate the wilderness of religion?
Yeah.
We've actually tried to put a collar on it and go, hey, step back.
I think Christianity seems to like constantly move with the times, doesn't it? So it's probably more of a backlash from like the people that were believing like all the time. There was probably a point where people that were believing thought, this is, I can't, this every day, and it's so down, it's so boring. Whereas out in the street, you've got jesters, you've got people playing music,
Oh, yeah.
It's fun, it's nice out there, it's cool, we can have an ale or two. It's like, it's like it's fun. Like obviously, you know, we don't want too many. And then the Christian, like the church, were like, we're losing people fast. It's like, right, we need to stop it with the old fire and brimstone stuff, right? Because you're freaking people out.
We're losing.
And no one's giving us any cash anymore. So so like begrudgingly, you know, you would have had like, you know, priests being like, for today, I brought in you know, John, the Aya player. And everyone's like, seriously? And then like, you know, and then they go and tell their cousin, like, you know, down in church we were actually singing. It was actually pretty fun. It was actually quite fun.
Exactly, and that's what they say. Yeah.
So it just keeps going like that. Like people are like, we don't want any. We're not doing that. We're not coming if we can't be what we want to do. And what we want to do is, you know, pretend everything's fine and nice. Because when we don't do that, we become terrible balls of anxiety that can't get out of the house.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know, so they need to keep bringing people out of the house and into the church, and maybe through time and such, the barrage of sort of how this society in Western society is like gone, but the barrage of the mania, like Christianity's gone, like we really need to roll these times or we're losing all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I guess from their point of view, they're thinking, and then we'll save no sinners.
Yeah.
But really, they're thinking, and then we'll have no cash.
Yeah, there'll be no roof. There'll be no roof on this building.
Of course there won't.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah.
So everything becomes more chilled and more easier, and then, you know, to a point now where you can be like, what are they called? Christian. You can be Christian creationists.
Oh yeah, well that's like fundamentalist.
Wait, no, that's fundamentalist. The other ones that are Christian
scientists.
Yeah, the ones that believe in the dinosaurs and God.
Yeah. Well, pretty much actually the creationists have kind of coming around to
they're coming round to it. See what I mean?
Yeah.
They're coming round because they're thinking like, fuck, because like everyone...
You can't deny the fact there's dinosaur bones everywhere.
So you can't deny that. And they're like, oh, fuck, like we've been wrong on this for ages. So slowly they're like, no, we didn't say there wasn't dinosaurs.
But now they believe that it's like the Flintstones where dinosaurs and human beings coexisted.
Yeah.
And they even believe there were raptors on the Ark.
Right.
I mean, it's just
exactly. So they'll just keep...
But I should tell you this.
Keep chucking it in.
The way I look... I admire a lot about, you know, religion, and what I really admire about it is that I feel it's a kind of everyday existential detective work, you know, more so than, you know, the average guy does like philosophizing. Of course we all philosophize in our own way each day, but people actually dedicating their life to a mystery, to trying to work out a mystery, and trying to live their lives according to this great cosmic mystery, and pondering these questions about ethics and morals and the meaning of things.
I think all of that can be done sort of without religion
for sure, but I consider
religion would be a question with those.
Well, it was for sure, but I see it as like different forms of detective work. You know, different religions. You got the Buddhism, you got the Christianity, you got all these different things. But you would never trust a detective who had a big grin pinned to his face and was like, "I don't think a murder happened here," and was just walking around in this robotic way, smiling and hugging everyone. You would be like, "This is super sinister."
Yeah.
And that's my issue with it.
Yeah.
That this kind of love bombing that's going on, it's enticing.
That. Yeah.
It's quite nice, especially if you're feeling low. If you're feeling down, it's lovely to have lots of people embrace you and want you in and be neighbourly and people who clearly care about, you know, being good to each other.
Yeah.
But there's something insincere and somewhat frightening about it when you and I know that we live in a world that's full of darkness.
Yeah.
You can't block out that darkness. You can fight through it and fight together to make a better world, but to kind of bury it in the way that you see with these creepy smiles.
Yeah.
There is something sinister going on.
I mean, I think there's something sinister going on generally.
Exactly,
I don't think it's the smile that makes it sinister.
No.
You know, I think it's the billions and billions of pounds that I would say are being robbed from the poor and the rich. You know, for things that they really have no hand in.
Yeah.
You know, and then when you bring up some of the most savage things that the church has been responsible for, it's just beyond belief that people could do that. But I think that people could believe in institutions like that. I'm not saying like the people shouldn't believe in I'm not saying people shouldn't believe spirituality and believe in a spiritual sense. But I'm saying that like if we go like, this is the book that you have to believe in, then you're wrong. Immediately you're wrong. That's what I think. I think as soon as we're going like, no, this is the one that has the truth about it.
Yeah, well, exactly.
As soon as that's happening, as soon as a person is writing down what they reckon the God is, and then they've got 10 people that reckon that person has got the hand of God in him to write down, it's already broken. It's already it's at that point it's sinister.
And also I think because
Scientology, of course, that's a religion.
Although Scientology quite cleverly embraces all other religions alongside it, and it goes, you could be of any different faith and still use Scientology.
Well, it's quite a smart thing, but that's pretty much what Christianity's doing too. Not with religions, but with dinosaurs and with everything that they didn't believe in. They're going
evolution.
Going no. You know what's the difference between a cult in a small borough of Leeds with like 7 people believing the madness of one man, to the biggest religions in the world.
Well, I mean,
the difference firstly is no tax.
Yeah. Well, if you look at a group like Jehovah's Witnesses, who we see every day on the corner, you see them in town, you see them in every town.
Yeah.
I mean, those are guys who excommunicate people from their families if they just say the wrong thing, or they don't, they decide to leave the church.
Yeah.
They can make it so your parents or your brothers and sisters never speak to you again.
Yeah.
That's exactly like Scientology.
Yeah.
There's no difference between that.
Yeah, in many ways, Scientology is such a obviously it's just obviously it's awful, but in many ways it's so great that it's here for us to look at Scientology and go, oh, that's how these religions got here.
It's also thankfully, it's nowhere near as big as these other ones.
Yeah, it's actually not that big at all, really.
No, it's not. They don't like to say that, though.
It's not as big as they want it to be.
They inflate the numbers. Yeah, they inflate the numbers, exactly.
Yeah. But L. Ron... Come on.
Yeah,
L. Ron Hubbard.
I know.
L. Ron Hubbard being the man who... created?
Founded it all, Dianetics.
And
what was it he classically said? I don't even really know if it's a real quote or not, but people attribute it to him that if you want to make money, make your own religion or whatever.
yeah. But I mean L. Ron, he's like...
We could do a whole episode on Scientology. We really should. I did want to actually end on an interesting story, and a sort of funny story. But so basically recently in the Gulf of Mexico, and a place called Corpus Christi,
Corpus Christi is the name of the circus.
Is it? There you go.
The circus that travels around. We get a Corpus Christi circus.
Oh wow!
Here.
But does Corpus Christi mean just like the corpse of Christ?
Does it?
I'm just thinking. I don't know. It sounds like Latin to me. But anyway, apparently it's on the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, it's a place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so loads of people have been finding these little bottles washing up recently that have like human hair, nails in them, and like liquids, bodily fluids, weird stuff. Some people are freaking out about this, and like they're not allowing like their husbands to take the bottles home with them and weird stuff like that. I don't know why they're bringing it home. But there's lots of photographs of them, and apparently it's happening more and more now. They reckon that they're coming, these spell bottles, I think they call them, or witch bottles. They think they're coming from Haiti, and they're just washing up on the shore. So I did a bit of research into these bottles, and apparently the idea is that it helps you to ward off evil. So the nails and the hair are your own nails and hair,
like a sacrifice.
Exactly, and you put like a liquid in it to sort of try to drown out the spirit. So there's like a story from 1690, which was it was published in a book, which was actually one of the books that was used to actually instigate the Salem witch trials. So it was a book that was saying these are real witches and this is the proof of what they did. But anyway, it's a story from Suffolk. So there's a lady, she's really sick, right? She's really ill. And her husband's like, what do I do? It seems like there's been like a hex has been placed on my wife because she's just constantly sick and there's no cure. So they go to like a white witch, like a nice guy who also knows magic. And they're like, look, I think my wife's been cursed. And he's like, right, well, here's what you do. You need to get some of her urine. You need to get some wine, nails, and also like actual like hammered nails and pins and put them all in a bottle. And then what you need to do is you just chuck it on a fire. And so he does all of this, collects all these materials, chucks it on the fire, and it of course bursts. The cork comes out and the bottle smashes and there's urine everywhere and nails or whatever. And he's like, fuck, and she's still sick. So he goes back to the white witch and he's like, I don't know what to do. Like, my wife's still ill. The bottle's smashed. And he went, oh, the bottle's smashed. I know what you have to do. Collect all of that stuff again and bury it in the ground. So he's like, okay, then no worries. So he goes back, collects all the stuff, must take ages, gets a full bottle of it, digs a hole in the ground, puts it in the ground, buries it. Lo and behold, a day later, his wife's better. She's getting better by the day. She's healing. Everything's great.
Okay.
And then there's a knock on the door. There's a woman there, like random woman. He doesn't know who she is. And he's like, what's going on? Like him and his wife, they're happy and healthy. They're like, what's happening? And she's like, you killed my husband. And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. And she's like, yeah, on his deathbed, he admitted to being a witch. He'd put a hex on your wife. And you fucking buried the bottle, didn't you know he's dead? But I love this story because just the whole... There's so many layers to it. Of just these bizarre superstitions. Someone who turned out to be a wizard. There was a hex on her. But really, and yeah, that's really... Yeah.
I mean, I'm speechless.
But it's a predominantly... I think the bottles are predominantly like British thing. So that tradition has gone all the way around the world. And yeah.
Similar to, like, do you think messages in a bottle come from it?
I feel that there must be some kind of crazy link. But I do feel like in this kind of... European voodoo, that it really is the spell bottle. Perhaps the deeper sort of superstitions, because I think it's called. I can't remember what it's called now. I can't remember what it is, but it's to ward off evil. You know what I mean? It's like the evil eye. That's something which transcends sort of all cultures. From the Bible in a hotel room. Every hotel room in America has a Bible in the drawer, right?
Does it?
You know, clearly to ward off evil, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
It's like an amulet. It's like to protect you.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah.
Wow.
Wasn't quite the powerful, profound ending I wanted it to be.
Oh no, it's great. It's great. Leaves me with something to think about. We will talk about Scientology
next episode.
Absolutely.
Ever climbed a mountain, ever caught a fish, ever looked to the stars and made a wish. Ever shot a bow and arrow in the dead of night? Ever read a map? Ever flew a kite? Ever put yourself to the test? Do your best. Pretty good, I thought. Like, definitely our most serious episode, I feel.